to the problem of football hooliganism. Please do get in touch with us. Maybe send us an email using the address sportswise@bbc.com or tweet us using the hashtag SWHYS. Well, I'm pleased to say we've got Blackburn's Jason Roberts with us in the studio here. I've got Angela on Skype. She's a Stoke fan based in Tenerife, and Sadece is a Barcelona and Arsenal fan who is with us in London. Before we talk about that issue of women in football, Angela, we've got to let you talk about Stoke, haven't we? And that 1-1 draw against Manchester United. I suppose it's got to be testament to your club that people aren't more surprised that they produced a 1-1 draw against United.
Yes, to be honest, Stoke played very well yesterday, but we were honest enough to admit that maybe luck was with us because Rooney didn't play, and of course Hernandez went off injured, and Johnny Evans was injured in the warm-up, so maybe Manchester United had a few more problems, and if they'd have played their full team off and Michael Owen wouldn't have started. But you need every bit of luck, as Jason will tell you, that you can get in football, and Stoke were exceptional yesterday. And you've been talking about England's strikers. Well, there's another forgotten England striker who's now playing for Stoke called Peter Crouch, and he was exceptional for Stoke yesterday. They played very well and deserved the point.
Well, Angela, I've got to agree with everything you said there. Having played against Stoke, you know that they're a really physical side. You know that the ball's going to get put into your box. But actually, they play a lot more football than they get credit for. And I think the team that Tony Pulis has built there is one that's going to be definitely looking at the top 10 this year. And I think there's a lot of credit that goes to him and the buys that he's brought in recently as well.
Yeah, after the match, actually, Jason, Sir Alex had this compliment for Stoke.
I think that Stoke have deserved their point. They've battled hard. They always do. Tony's got a really honest team here, and they do make you work. And although we've been very successful here in the past few years, today I think a point was fair.
Well, Joanna is a Manchester United fan who's joined us. How disappointed were you at that result yesterday?
Well, it didn't get lucky, but still I believe in Manchester. They're good at the latest time, so.
Patrice Evra actually said after the game that you need 5 matches to recover after playing Stoke. Jason, what is it like playing Stoke?
Well, it's physical. You know exactly what you're going to get. Tony Pulis hasn't changed his management style for the last 10 years. I mean, you know exactly what you're going to get when you play against one of his sides. But what he's managed to do with Stoke is to bring some really good technical footballers in as well. They do have a very, very sort of robust kind of shape about them, but actually they can play football very, very well. And you're right, no one was surprised when they got that result. And that's real testament to what they've been doing down there at Stoke.
Angela, you were chuckling, quite proud of the way Stoke play then.
I have to laugh because last season everybody yesterday was talking about the potential penalty when Woodgate stumbled into Hernandez, but everybody seems to have forgotten the one last season when Gary Neville took Etherington off at the knees, and it just makes me laugh. But I agree with Jason, we are a physical team, but the one thing that Tony Pulis has instilled at Stoke is a complete team spirit, and it's on and off the pitch. I mean, the crowd, Jason will tell you, the crowd at Stoke are 100% behind the team, and we don't need a load of women down at Stoke, just myself and a few others, but it's exceptionally good at Stoke. Britannia's an awesome place to play football, I would think.
Okay, well, you mentioned the women, and Jason, you're pretty outnumbered on screen at the moment, so we must talk about those scenes in Turkey this week. It really is not often you see this, or indeed hear this, at a top flight game. Have a listen. Yeah, a crowd of 41,000. As I said, not a man in sight. It happened in the Turkish league. Fenerbahçe took on Manisaspor. Fenerbahçe had been ordered to play 2 matches behind closed doors, but instead of an empty stadium, they came out with quite a novel idea and asked the Turkish FA if they could allow in women and children under 12 for free. Well, and that basically is what happened. Absolutely fantastic scenes. The players enjoyed it. They threw flowers into the crowd at full time. Well, we have Daniela with us. She is the CEO of Football Supporters Europe, and she is with us. A female football fan, supporter of Barcelona and Arsenal. But Daniela, what did you make of these scenes?
Well, obviously it's amazing to see that, and it's for us as women in football, as female football fans, I think it was great to finally see women that visible in a football stadium. Nevertheless, I thought at the same time I was a bit sad, because I thought, well, if that's a one-off thing, it's obviously great and makes women very visible. But as an ongoing solution or alternative to matches behind closed doors, I think it would be problematic.
Do you think, though, there is some truth in the fact women could prove a counterbalance to hooliganism in football and be a positive thing?
I think certainly an increased percentage of women inside stadia improves the atmosphere in general. I do think that. At the same time, I've heard and I do know women that are also female hooligans, so it's not that black and white, that it's only the men that are the problem.
Sachi, what did you make of it in terms of your experiences of football?
I have to agree. I think what we saw in Fenerbahçe was incredible. It shows that women aren't just fillers, they're genuine fans that are well versed in football. But equally, men play a great portion, a great part in the atmosphere of the matchday experience. And I think it's very dangerous to just make it a gender divide and make it an issue that feeds into something that we need to do everything we can to dilute. I think it's really risky and slippery slope to go down that route. I think it should be dropped to a bigger picture and not make it just about gender, and really look at what's contributing to the match day experience that leads to hooliganism, and whether it be about layout, why are people in friction, they're getting in friction so close to one another. That's another issue. In terms of what the other guest is saying, I think it's sad that it's a one-off thing that's happening there with Fenerbahçe and all the women being there. I also read an article that said that women trying to get into the stadium were getting aroused just because it was so busy and so many women trying to push and shove to get the free tickets. So there's something to be looked at there as well.
I think that's right. And the Take That concert in Manchester earlier this year was pretty much full of women, and there were certainly a number of arrests made there. But Jason, in your experience of the English Premier League, as more and more women have got into crowds in recent times, have you noticed much of a change in atmosphere in stadiums?
Not really. I think it's still predominantly what's been happening over the last 10-15 years is pretty much the case here. On what happened on Fenerbahçe, I thought it was one of those things where I think it's a fantastic initiative, and it's really good that the ladies and the young kids got an opportunity to watch a match and have that charm. But actually, you look at if Fenerbahçe are getting doing this because of the hooliganism issue, really, was that enough punishment? Because, it wasn't just a ladies' day, it was there because they were having issues with hooliganism. So that's the only issue with me. Was that punishment enough?
Yeah, it is about giving women a chance to get a taste of football, but it's not a real taste of football, that, is it?
No, I don't know if it is. It's obviously not the atmosphere that you usually get at a game, but I think it's a really good initiative, and maybe it's something that should be looked at again at another situation. But I think the real issue here is the hooliganism issues that they have in Turkey and that they've had at the Fenerbahçe games. And actually, is that punishment enough to say, well, we'll just have the ladies in here and do a nice bit of PR and everyone's talking about us? I think actually the real issue here is the hooliganism problem that they have in Turkey and Fenerbahçe.
Sachi?
I absolutely agree. I don't think it was punishment. I don't think the people that actually create the issue there had enough reflection to see what can be changed so it doesn't happen down the line. And absolutely correct. It was a big PR. It was in press across the world, and actually just propagated their brand even further. So there wasn't that internal that introspection of how we can change this down the line, as it would have been if there was a 2-match suspension, they lost the revenue, and they could really take a look and see how changes could be made down the line.
Sachi, for now, thank you very much. Do stay with us. What do you think? Please do get in touch. Are women a civilising influence in football? Maybe give us a call, pick up the phone. All the details on the side of your screen. But we'll be back carrying on the conversation in just a couple of minutes.